Some aspects of men's health are still shrouded in mystery, and many men rarely think about the processes occurring in their bodies during intimate moments. However, each act of masturbation entails a whole cascade of changes, affecting in particular the prostate gland. These changes can be both beneficial and potentially dangerous if ignored. This article will examine 6 key changes that occur in the prostate during masturbation. It is noted that blood flow and hormonal fluctuations play an important role, influencing the long-term health of the prostate. These processes, in fact, shape the functioning of the body as it matures. Understanding these changes allows you to make informed decisions about your health, habits, and future well-being. It is important to read to the end to find out what happens every time during ejaculation and how these processes affect the prostate in the long term. Some of these discoveries may radically change your perception of your body and help prevent serious health complications in the future. In the context of discussing masturbation and prostate health, special attention is paid to its possible impact on reducing the risk of developing prostate cancer. Numerous studies conducted over the years indicate that regular ejaculation can help remove carcinogenic substances and inflammatory agents from the prostate, which in the long term can reduce the likelihood of developing prostate cancer. The explanation for this phenomenon is quite simple. The prostate, being a gland responsible for producing seminal fluid, can accumulate toxins, metabolic products, and excess hormones over time. If these substances are not regularly removed, they can cause cell damage and inflammation, 2 factors closely associated with an increased risk of cancer. Some scientists suggest that frequent ejaculation helps cleanse the body of these potentially dangerous substances, thereby maintaining prostate health. As an example, consider a well-known study conducted by Harvard researchers, which showed that men who ejaculated at least 21 times a month had a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who did so less often. Although this does not mean that every man needs to strive for a certain number of ejaculations, this observation highlights the potential benefits of regular ejaculation for maintaining prostate health. However, it is worth emphasizing that the frequency of ejaculations is only part of the overall picture. Genetic predisposition, dietary habits, lifestyle habits, and the overall state of the body collectively have a significant impact on the likelihood of developing prostate cancer. As an illustration, consider the story of James, a 74-year-old man whose family has a history of this disease. Concerned about his personal risk, he decided to explore ways to improve his prostate health. He learned that regular sexual activity combined with a balanced diet and preventive examinations could reduce his personal risk. After consulting with a doctor, he implemented simple but effective adjustments. He increased the frequency of ejaculations, enriched his diet with cruciferous vegetables, and developed a set of exercises to maintain hormonal balance. Over time, he noted an improvement in his overall well-being and felt more confident in his health. It is important to understand that ejaculation itself is not an absolute guarantee of protection against prostate cancer. It should be seen as one element of a healthy lifestyle aimed at maintaining prostate health. Equally, and perhaps more importantly, are a balanced diet, stress management, sufficient physical activity, and regular prostate examinations. Masturbation has a little-known beneficial property. It helps to release excess seminal fluid accumulating in the prostate. This process, called prostate drainage, plays a significant role in maintaining its health. At the moment of ejaculation, the accumulated fluid is released, which leads to a decrease in internal pressure and, as a result, a reduction in the risk of discomfort and inflammatory processes. Most men experience a feeling of relief and relaxation after ejaculation. However, for some, especially those who do not lead a regular sex life, the accumulation of fluid can lead to temporary congestion, causing mild discomfort in the pelvic area or frequent urges to urinate. This problem is especially relevant for men suffering from benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or chronic prostatitis, when fluid stagnation in the prostate becomes a source of irritation. As an example, consider Richard, a 72-year-old retiree who abstained from sexual activity for several months. He began experiencing a dull, aching pain in his lower abdomen and frequent nighttime urination. His doctor explained that his condition was due to prostate congestion caused by a lack of ejaculation, which led to increased inflammation and pressure on the bladder. To Richard's surprise, the doctor recommended regular ejaculation to relieve fluid buildup and improve his overall condition. Following this advice, Richard noted a significant reduction in discomfort and fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom. This isn't a call for all men to adhere to a specific schedule, but it highlights an important point. Ejaculation can serve as a natural mechanism for relieving congestion in the prostate gland. However, if a man experiences discomfort even after ejaculation, or if the relief is only temporary, it may indicate a deeper underlying issue requiring professional medical consultation. The key takeaway is that for many men, moderate masturbation can be a simple and accessible way to maintain prostate health and minimize unwanted discomfort. Hormonal fluctuations in testosterone regulation. During masturbation, hormonal shifts occur in a man's body, particularly changes in testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, DHT levels. These hormones play a crucial role in prostate function, maintaining muscle strength and overall men's health. While testosterone levels naturally fluctuate throughout the day, sexual activity can cause a temporary decrease in its level immediately after ejaculation. In younger men, this decrease is hardly noticeable because their bodies quickly restore testosterone levels. However, with age, testosterone production naturally slows down, and infrequent ejaculation may contribute to a temporary decrease in energy, motivation, and muscle recovery ability. This is why some men, especially those in their 60s and 70s, may experience more fatigue after masturbation than when they were younger. Nevertheless, this decline is short-lived, and in most cases, testosterone levels return to baseline within a day. Next, dihydrotestosterone, or DHT, comes into play, a more potent relative of testosterone that plays an important role in maintaining prostate health. While DHT is essential for normal male development, an excess of it can cause prostate enlargement and even trigger hair loss. Some scientific research suggests that regular ejaculation may help reduce DHT buildup, which in turn may reduce the risk of developing benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, over time. However, a delicate balance is crucial here. A lack of DHT can lead to decreased libido and overall vitality, while an excess can lead to prostate problems. As an example, consider Frank, a 68-year-old man who had been feeling inexplicably sluggish for several weeks. He noted a gradual decline in energy levels and a slight drop in motivation. After consulting with his doctor, it was revealed that his frequent nighttime masturbation habits may have affected his hormonal balance. By adjusting his daily routine to include adequate sleep, strength training, and a nutrient-rich diet, Frank was able to regain his energy and maintain a healthy hormonal balance while still enjoying a normal sex life. For the vast majority of men, such hormonal changes do not pose a serious threat, but over time, awareness of them becomes necessary. A deep understanding of the impact of testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, DHT, on the body allows for more informed decisions regarding lifestyle and overall well-being. If a person experiences persistent fatigue, decreased libido, or changes in muscle strength, it is advisable to discuss hormonal levels with a qualified physician. Masturbation itself is not harmful, but as with everything, moderation is key, especially when it comes to maintaining healthy hormone levels and preserving prostate health for years to come. One of the first changes that occur in the body during masturbation is an increased blood flow to the prostate. This is a natural reaction of the body in a state of sexual arousal, and it serves an important function. The prostate gland, located directly below the bladder, is responsible for producing seminal fluid. Upon arousal, it experiences a surge of oxygen-rich blood, essential for its active role in ejaculation. For the vast majority of men, ejaculation occurs without any noticeable discomfort. However, for some, particularly those dealing with an enlarged or inflamed prostate gland, this blood flow can trigger temporary swelling and a feeling of pressure in the pelvic region. This is why some men experience a sense of fullness or mild discomfort after ejaculation, especially if they already suffer from conditions like benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or prostatitis. Consider the example of George. At 74, he had been managing a moderately enlarged prostate for several years. It didn't often cause him issues, but over time he began to notice a dull ache in his lower abdomen after ejaculating. He initially dismissed it, but the discomfort became more persistent, making it difficult to fall asleep. He eventually consulted his doctor, who explained that the increased blood flow during sexual activity was temporarily inflaming his already enlarged prostate. The doctor assured him that moderate sexual activity was still beneficial, but also recommended increasing fluid intake, adjusting his diet, and practicing pelvic floor relaxation exercises to alleviate post-ejaculation discomfort. In most men, this brief swelling is not a cause for concern, as it is a natural bodily response to blood flow regulation. However, if persistent discomfort, difficulty urinating, or prolonged pain after ejaculation occurs, seeking medical advice is recommended. While masturbation itself does not cause prostate problems, underlying conditions such as benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, or prostatitis can exacerbate the effects. Understanding one's body's responses can help in making informed health decisions and avoiding unnecessary discomfort. For many older men, urinary health becomes an increasingly important consideration, and masturbation can play a role in urinary system function. The prostate gland's location directly beneath the bladder and around part of the urethra means its condition directly affects urine flow, as well as urgency and frequency of urination. After ejaculation, the prostate undergoes a temporary contraction, followed by relaxation. This process can briefly increase the urge to urinate or create a sensation of incomplete bladder emptying. This is especially relevant for men who already experience prostate enlargement. Benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, is a common condition where the prostate enlarges with age, pressing on the urethra and making urination difficult. Some men find that their urine stream becomes weaker after ejaculation, or they experience the need to urinate again shortly after. This is because the muscles controlling the bladder and prostate are adjusting after sexual activity. Consider the story of Robert, a 70-year-old man who found himself needing to urinate more frequently at night. He initially assumed it was an inevitable part of aging, but after consulting his doctor, he discovered that his prostate was slightly enlarged, affecting his urinary control. He also noticed that after masturbation, he often felt a strong urge to urinate, but experienced difficulty and a weak stream. Recognizing these patterns, Robert began adjusting his fluid intake habits, reducing caffeine and alcohol, and tracking when his symptoms were most pronounced. Over time, he developed strategies to manage his urinary habits more effectively, which improved his quality of sleep. At the same time, for men without significant prostate enlargement, masturbation can actually offer benefits by promoting relaxation of the pelvic muscles and improving long-term urine flow. Some urologists even suggest that regular ejaculation may be beneficial, helping to maintain prostate elasticity and reduce congestion that could lead to inflammation. The key is to pay close attention to the signals your body sends. If urination becomes difficult or uncomfortable after ejaculation, it could indicate an underlying issue that requires professional medical attention. Ultimately, while masturbation can affect urination patterns, its impact can vary significantly depending on prostate health, hydration levels, and a man's overall lifestyle. If you notice changes in your urinary function that you believe are related to your sexual activity, it's recommended to discuss this with a healthcare professional to determine if it's a normal variation or requires further investigation. Maintaining a healthy balance in all areas of life, including adequate hydration, regular exercise, and prostate health care, can contribute to stable urinary function over time. Masturbation has a beneficial effect on blood circulation and blood flow regulation, especially in older men. During sexual activity, whether alone or with a partner, heart rate increases, blood vessels dilate, and oxygen-rich blood actively circulates throughout the body. This rush of blood provides moderate support to the cardiovascular system, similar to light physical exercise. In men with heart disease, high blood pressure, or circulation problems, the impact of masturbation can be ambiguous. For some men, masturbation serves as a natural anti-stress remedy, promoting relaxation of blood vessels and a temporary reduction in blood pressure. This is because sexual activity stimulates the production of nitric oxide, a compound that improves blood flow by dilating blood vessels. Studies show that regular sexual activity helps maintain heart health by reducing stress-induced inflammation and improving circulation. However, if dizziness, chest discomfort, or irregular heartbeat occur after ejaculation, this may indicate the presence of cardiovascular issues requiring medical consultation. Take, for example, the story of Alan, a 73-year-old man who, despite his active lifestyle, experienced unexpected bouts of dizziness after reaching climax during intimacy. Initially, he dismissed it as a minor inconvenience. However, after a particularly pronounced episode, he sought medical advice. Tests revealed a tendency for a slight drop in his blood pressure after intercourse, which was causing his discomfort. By making adjustments to his daily routine, including increased fluid intake, dietary changes, and a sensible exercise regimen, he was able to return to a fulfilling sex life without undue anxiety. On the other hand, circulatory problems can contribute to erectile dysfunction, ED, a condition that affects a significant proportion of men over 60. In some cases, men may notice a weakening or slowing of erections, which can signal reduced vascular function. Since adequate blood supply is necessary to achieve an erection, any circulatory issues, whether high cholesterol, loss of arterial elasticity, or diabetes, can negatively impact sexual health. Some experts even consider erectile function as an indicator of cardiovascular health, emphasizing that changes in sexual function should not be ignored. Masturbation, in itself, is not a panacea for improving circulation, but it can be one element of a comprehensive approach to maintaining cardiovascular health. It's important to listen to your body and pay attention to any unusual signals. If you experience dizziness, fatigue, or heart palpitations after ejaculation, you should see a doctor for evaluation. Heart health and sexual activity are closely linked, so maintaining normal blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and healthy circulation will benefit both aspects. In conclusion, take a moment to reflect on the changes in the body discussed in the video. What moments seemed most interesting and important? Perhaps someone recognized themselves in the described effects or gained insight into how their body responds to sexual activity with age. The human body is constantly changing, and understanding these natural processes allows for more informed decisions to maintain health and well-being. Masturbation, a topic often surrounded by prejudice, has a multifaceted impact on a man's body, affecting prostate function, hormonal background, emotional state, urination patterns, the circulatory system, and overall well-being. The key point to understand is that, as in any aspect of life, moderation is essential. By listening to your body's signals and making necessary adjustments to your habits, every man can maintain a healthier and more harmonious lifestyle. If any problems or abnormalities arise, you should not neglect to consult a specialist. Health is a priceless gift that requires careful attention and care.